Okay, we're watching Doom, a Star Wars Rebels fan film created by my friend Kiefer Jenkins, also known as Jetstreak Inc. On YouTube, he's got his own channel. He's been working on this for a couple years. I know that because I'm in it. I played the role of Ezra Bridger. So he reached out to me a couple years ago and he was like, hey, I love your cosplay. I was wondering if you would be interested in starring in my fan film as Ezra. Do you have a green screen? And I was like, yes. I didn't really. I mean, I did. Like, I had green sheets that were just the worst. Threw those away. I bought some green paint and I just went to town on the walls in my parents' basement. That made things easier. And I just want it on the record that I was working remotely. I worked remotely before 2020, before it was cool. All right, so we're just gonna watch this. I'm gonna do a little commentary during the film, and then afterwards, we're gonna see what I think about it. So stick around to the end. If you've never seen Star Wars Rebels, you're not going to get any of this. You're not going to appreciate any of it. You're not going to get the story. The story, speaking of which, is an untold story in between seasons 2 and 3 of Star Wars Rebels. It's right after Kanan went blind. This story is about his struggle to cope with being blind, to accept the fact that he's blind, and to own it, I guess. That is John Rodriguez as Kanan, Caleb DUME, also known as Alpha Ignition on the socials. That was Rei Kennex as Hera, probably my favorite Hera cosplayer, just easily. We've got Sabine here, played by my friend Amber, who I've had a chance to meet once. This scene was cool. I was here when they shot this. This was taken in LA at an abandoned zoo. If you're from LA, you probably know exactly where this is, but it's an abandoned zoo. If you Google it, you'll one of the first photos you'll find, I'm sure, is like that. So here I am in person. That's the only in-person shot that this film has of me. Cool sound design there.
Not to say you still don't have above the eyes, but I thought you could use something a bit more practical for when we're ready to come up on missions with us.
Thank you.
I love these. I get chills.
It means death. You'll be fine.
I see. Come to me.
There you have it. Doom, Star Wars Rebels fan film. So, my thoughts. I like it. I think the best part about this is the story, because it's an unwritten story that we were never given. It's in between 2 seasons that take place, I think it's 2 or 3 months in between these seasons, where season 2, Kanan is blind. Ezra has this Sith holocron. At a cliffhanger, we're led to believe that he's going to turn to the dark side, because the very last thing we see is him opening the Sith holocron and then just fade to white. Season 3 opens up a few months later, basically the end of this fan film, where we hear a voice calling out to Kanan. That's the Bendu. I see you, come to me. Yeah, so my favorite part of this was the story. Obviously, being a part of it, this fan film was super exciting for me. It was a huge joy. I was honored to be a part of it. I don't have any acting experience outside of one college class for acting that I took my senior year. One of my favorite classes in college, actually, and I went to school for finance and marketing. Nothing arts related at all. I've always had fun pretending to be like a character or something, imagining myself in Star Wars. So aside from that, zero acting experience. And the only other experience I had for being in front of a camera is this, which doesn't really translate to a Star Wars fan film, because I'm pretending to be someone else in this fan film. What I was doing was, during the shoot, I would have my iPad in front of me and I would be watching these exact scenes that I was trying to replicate. And I even studied some of Ezra's like fighting moves and choreography and his fighting style, and incorporated that into my own little series of moves. So we only got to see like 2 or 3 seconds of me like swinging this lightsaber around, deflecting blaster bolts, but it was probably like a 5 or 8 second thing, me just deflecting nothing in front of a green screen. Those are the things that I liked. A couple things that I didn't like. More questions, like why. So one of the problems that I have with this was the dialogue. Not the lines, but the audio. I couldn't really hear what these characters were saying sometimes. Personally, I would have overdubbed their dialogue. It's just a little too echoey, and it sounds like the microphone is on the opposite end of the room trying to capture someone speaking over here, and it sounds like they're far away, and it just makes it a little hard to understand. Most, if not all, of the problems I have with this fan film are all kind of production related, and that's probably because I'm on the production end of things too, so I'm hyper sensitive to that side of things, like all the behind the scenes, like how was this scene shot, what kind of instructions did Kiefer give the actors for this dialogue, or who wrote this, and like who lit this, stuff like that. Also, several of the shots seemed out of focus. I don't know if that was a stylistic thing. I don't know why it would be. Focus doesn't really make sense. Kanan is completely out of focus. The training remote has a little bit of focus, and the background, the walls behind Kanan are in focus. That doesn't make sense. So something just seems off about this setting. You know what I mean? So here too, the foreground, the midground, completely out of focus, background, focus. I'm sure it was a mistake, not realized until later in the edit. I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah.
Good visual effects.
It means dad.
That was the thing that most frustrated me about the audio, because this was a line that I really was interested in hearing.
It means dad.
I don't know what she's saying. I really hope this isn't like a canon term for this mask, because in that case I would be very embarrassed that I don't already know what she's saying. Like, it sounds like she's saying beer. It means death. Bear or fear, it means dad. I wonder if there are subtitles. There are subtitles. B-I-U-R, it means dad. Not an English word, totally fine to not understand that. But dad, I only understood dad from the context. She could have said death for all I knew. I don't know. Like beer, it means death. Kanan's face out of focus, but in focus enough where I can see, I don't know what they're called, the pixels of Kanan's contact lenses. And that's just another little thing that like kind of brings me out of it. This is a cosplayer, not Kanan. Just these little details, I think, make a big difference. Looking from the sides, you're obviously going for like a dreamy vibe here. Maybe this was intentional. I don't know. Really good music. Yeah, so the only problems I have with this movie are kind of like behind the scenes production-y types of things. Other than that, the struggle, the story that you were trying to tell was told and it was executed well. Just there were a couple things about the dream sequence where Kanan was fighting Maul and then he hopped out of it and then he hopped out of it again to where he was meditating again. That was a little confusing. But other than that, everything else worked. It was cool. Those flash forwards where Sabine hands Kanan his new mask, their hands just get close to each other, and when Kanan touches the mask, he sees visions of Sabine's future where Trials of the Darksaber just, oof. I legit get chills from that scene that you created. So yeah, those are my thoughts. That's Doom with some behind the scenes commentary and some of my own opinions about the fan film and what I thought of it. Let me know what you guys thought. Comment down below on this video. If you want to see the original fan film, go over to Jeff3Gank's channel. I will link to it right up here and watch it for yourself. I know everyone involved tried really, really, really hard on this, so we would all really appreciate it if you just gave it a watch. It's only, I think, like 7 minutes all in all, without the credits. I gotta say, just watching this and seeing the final result, totally inspiring. I've wanted to make my own fan film since we were kids, but when does it ever become a reality? You actually made it a reality. You accomplished your goal, your dream here, and I really want to try one for myself. I think I'm going to. There are more Rebel stories to tell. Foreshadowing!